Yay! We are live. We are live. And
Yay.
a big welcome to my dear friend and author, Cindy Williams Schrauben. It's so great to see you again.
Thank you, Mel. I'm so excited to be here again.
Well, I've been waiting over 3 years for your new book and for another opportunity to congratulate you and to talk to you. And it finally happened.
Yay. It took a while, but I'm back at it.
And I'm happy, and I'm sure the kids all over America are happy as well. Maybe other countries, we'll have to find out in a minute.
See.
So
Yes.
I'm Mel Rosenberg, and I am the host of the Children's Literature Channel of the New Books Network. And I'm here with the wonderful Cindy Schrauben, who's not only a wonderful author, but also a wonderful human being, very involved in education, in sharing, in helping other authors break in. So, welcome, Cindy. Tell us all about your new book, which is entitled Hank's Change of Heart. And it's with a relatively new publisher called The Little Press. I'm thinking to myself, oy vey, what happens if the company ever succeeds? It'll be the big little press.
Yeah, right, right. That's a good point.
The floor is
Thanks.
yours.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. My new book, Hank's Change of Heart. I apologize. I don't have it here with me today, but it is, you'll have to look it up. This book is about a little boy who loves hearts. Everything hearts. He loves to find heart-shaped rocks and heart-shaped leaves. He loves to make hearts. He loves to wear hearts. He's just obsessed with hearts. And Hank's not too great with sharing at first in the beginning of the book. He hides his hearts and keeps them all hidden away, all for himself. And later on in the book, you'll have to read to find out that when Hank finds a friend who seems a little sad, he decides to just slip one secretly to her to brighten her day because they make him so happy. And when he sees how happy that little girl is, he has a change of heart. So you'll have to check it out to figure that all out. And yes, I'm with the Little Press. Michelle McAvoy is the founder and publisher there. She is a wonderful lady. The books she puts out are beautiful. I'm very thrilled to be a part of that group. Uh, just yesterday, the Little Press celebrated their fifth anniversary, and so that was a lot of fun too. So
Wonderful. And we've spoken over 3 years ago. I was in early stages of this channel, I remember. And we had a wonderful talk about your life. And we talked about your debut book, which is a wonderful, wonderful book. Um, I can't remember the name, The Things You Could Be.
this could be you. You're really close. Yes. And I've had so much fun over the years with that book because it celebrates a growth mindset. So it talks a lot about, how we can encourage kids to keep pushing and to not give up and that failure's okay and that we can learn from it. But the real surprise to me throughout that whole journey has been the way that adults needed to hear that message too. And so it has been really helpful for me to talk with adults and to learn that, hear them say, I needed that when I was a kid, but I still need it now. Right. So I've done a lot of work most recently with adults on that fact, especially with other authors, trying to encourage them to keep pushing and to keep going because this is a tough journey being an author. It takes a lot of perseverance and it takes that growth mindset for sure. So I'm doing a little thing on YouTube that I call Author Pep Talk, and I'm interviewing authors and illustrators and editors and agents and publishers on the journey of becoming an author to try to When I first started, there were so many people there to lend a hand and to give advice on they uh, how their journey went and what worked and what didn't work and how to keep pushing. And I am confident in saying that if I didn't have those people along the way, I probably wouldn't have stuck with it and I wouldn't be a published author today. So I made a promise to myself at that time that if I ever became published, I was going to give back and try to help other people out. So that's what I'm doing. That's a lot of my time right now.
And it's wonderful. And this could be you, is also you, Cindy. Um, and when I think, I have a book coming out also about a girl who ends up creating her own door, her own path to her own future. And even though it's a different gender, it's also part of our struggle. In other words, Emily Saw a Door is also based on my story of being rejected hundreds and hundreds of times. And I think that we have this in
Yes.
common, and our heroes are also like based on this perseverance factor.
Absolutely, it is, and I got a sneak peek at Mel's book, and it is great. I can't wait, and I'm going to have you come and talk with me on my channel too. So
Oh, thank you, thank
in
you.
January,
Oh, this is difficult for me to be on other people's channels. I'm warning you. I'll try and behave myself. So, and if I'm not mistaken, was your previous book, which was with Cardinal Rule Press, was it
yes.
translated into another language, or I'm
It
forgetting
was.
something?
It's in Spanish also. So it's funny because I can't read it, and yes, it's the same story, but there are different nuances when you translate. And so I was really excited one day when I was doing a bookstore event, and a woman came up and was excited to see the Spanish edition, and I said, "Oh, I wish I could read it." So she read it to me, and that was really fun. But yeah,
That's wonderful. There's another thing that I wanted to bring up. I don't know, we never talked about religion, but Cardinal Rule Press is an almost religious, in a good way, a publisher. And the little press also has a religious side to it. Um, your books are like, for me, they're like there's a Judeo-Christian ethic in your stories.
I think they are because there's just kind of a moral undertone to both of them, I think. And I try to keep them as general as far as that goes so that hopefully they can speak to a lot of different people in a lot of different situations instead of making them specific to, to a certain religion. But I when I first started writing, oh, like 10, 12 years ago, the whole um, this issue then they were saying was don't have your story have a message. Don't write a story that has any, you know, that's teaching. And yes, I agree. I don't want it to be, you don't want your stories to be didactic and to be do this, and don't do that. But I think you can still bring in that learning factor without teaching, right? And so that's what I like to.
I think that that's what the good books, including yours, do.
I agree.
There is a teaching element, but the book is about the story. And you have a beautiful story here, and I want to tell you what I like in particular. Is that Hank's change of heart, like you don't really explain much in this critical moment where he sees the girl across the fence and she's sad and he looks at her, and his change of heart is a silent change of heart.
Yep.
And the first time I read it, it kind of pissed me off. Come on, Cindy.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on. What caused this change of heart? And then I got it. You're looking for this reader response, right? You're looking for the
Yeah.
reader, the parent, the kid, to get into Hank's shoes and say, well, what would cause me to give away something that I hold as precious to somebody who's in need of it.
I love that. I love that you had that reaction because that's exactly what I want kids to do. I want them to figure it out for themselves. I don't want to come out and say, Hank changed his mind and decided that maybe, he needed to share. I didn't want to say that. I wanted kids to see what happened and to say, aha, that's and that's kind of the way I work. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Often when I first start with a story like that, my critique partners might say, you need to come out with it a little more than that. That was a little too subtle. So, there's just a lot of back and forth figuring out that for me where that sweet spot is to make it work without being didactic. But
I think you really did. And let's talk now. You don't have the pictures, but I'm hoping that people will run out and buy the book after this interview. I don't make any money from these things, but I love what I love. So a few words about the illustrator and about the process, because Cindy, as I know you, you are a tiny bit of a not a control freak, but you like things done in a certain way. Speak to me, dear.
you're right. And yes, you can say I'm a control freak because I call myself
I
that.
didn't say that.
I said it. It is really hard, the process. And I am so amazed how many people that I meet. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because when I first started, I didn't realize this either. But people don't usually realize that if you sell your book to a traditional publisher, unless you're a really well established and have a lot of cred, the illustration process is totally out of your hands at that point. And so the illustrator is chosen by the publisher, and then yeah, I'm out of the loop until it gets to the point where the illustrations are nearly done, I would say. Some cases are different than others. And then at the end, I was asked if there was anything at all that I, would felt very strongly about. And the she did a wonderful job. She got the point. She understood what I was trying to say. And I think that's always the fear at the beginning is, are they even going to know what I'm talking about? Because they say, don't give all these illustrator notes and don't try to tell them what to do. And honestly, even though it's hard, I think it really does make sense because their creative process is different than yours, and they bring in things that I didn't even think about, right? So it's a beautiful balance.
That is when we are lucky.
Yes, you're right.
So we'll shout out to Sasha Richards,
Yes.
who did such a lovely job on the illustrations.
She
Um, and so is is it possible, do you think, for people like you and me to I also underwent this process with my book, Emily Saw a Door, and I fell in love with Emily and I fell in love with the illustration. I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
yeah.
But is there a situation where you look at the pictures and you say, "Oh my goodness, um, that's not me. That's not my book. What happened?"
I
Or
don't
is it,
know.
or it's like having a baby and like you're gonna love the baby no matter what it looks like.
That's a really good question. I think there's always going to be things that are different than we envision them, but different can be good too sometimes. I will tell one funny thing that happened in these illustrations is Sasha put in a possum throughout the book in a few different spots and I love when they do that for kids to look for and find. But I used to think they were so gross. It was one of my least favorite animals. But now he's endearing and I really think he's cute. But that was a shock at first. When I first saw the book, I was like, oh, where did he come from?
Cindy, it's never too late to love an opossum.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so now I have another question.
Okay.
So I'm writing a story called now Water Under the Bridge,
Okay.
right? It's it comes from the title, and you have such a catchy title here. I can't help but think that maybe you got the idea for the story from this, this phrase, "a change of heart."
Yeah, for sure. At least that's where I got the title idea from. The whole
I'm talking,
idea,
we're talking about the story.
the story,
Does it derive
no.
from the title? Oh,
No, it didn't. The story came from my hometown is Eaton Rapids, Michigan, and so ER is, of course, the acronym that we use for the town. And at one point in time, and I think this happens in a lot of cities, the children would find rocks throughout town and paint them and put ER rocks on them, and then put a heart or a sweet message and hide them around town for other people to find. And so when they would find a rock, they'd be, "Yay, I found one, I found one." And so that was kind of my inspiration for sharing that secret love, and that eventually, toward the end of the book, spoiler alert, Hank starts hiding them or giving them to people, and then the rest of the town gets on the kick also. And so that's actually where the story came from. Instead of rocks, I wanted to make it a heart, and then Change of Heart came after that.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is kind of wow. That's very fortuitous to have such a
Yeah.
name. Wow.
Well, I'm all
So
about puns. I love puns, and it was really fun.
I know, but to write a story about a change of heart and then to say I'll call it a change of heart. You know what? I'm not sure I believe you, but we'll leave it at that for the moment. And,
Okay.
and the other thing I know about you is that you are a born teacher
Hmm.
and you spend a lot of time in schools with children. And your books they're not only children friendly, but they're children activity friendly.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. With This Could Be You, the first book, the last line in every stanza is "This could be," or "It could be you." It will say, for instance, there's a page about an artist, and so the last two lines are "Create." It could be you. And so I like to get the kids when I'm reading a book. I point to them when it's their turn, and they say, "It could be you." And so it keeps them interacted and as a part of the story. And for Hank's Change of Heart, obviously the word heart is used. You know what? I should need to count. I'm not sure how many times, but many times throughout the book. And so I have the kids make a heart shape when they hear the word. And so I think it keeps them engaged also, because they're working toward that. But
No, but you told me about this amazing world record story.
yes.
Um, and now's the time to tell the world, Cindy. What are we
All
waiting
right. It was so much fun, and I can't wait to talk a little bit more about it once the Kids World Record people get done with their adjudication. We didn't do the Guinness Book of World Records, but we did it's called Kids World Records, and they have individual records as well as group records. And what we did was the kids read, or actually the principal read the book to the whole school, and then 409 children made a heart in class. And we lined up around the school, and you can imagine 409 kids. It was outside, and so it wrapped around the school, and we got videos from above of them lining up. Then the kids, we did a countdown, and they passed the heart to the child next to them. And when it got to the very end, their service dog took the last heart. They tucked it under his collar, and he ran it back to the beginning of the line while the kids cheered for him. So it was just a load of fun. The kids had a great time, and the record will be called "The Most Children Sharing Their Hearts." So it was just really a fun way to get the kids involved. let them hear my book, and then I'll go in and do a school visit with them also. So
So you have a new agent, Michelle
I do.
Jackson.
I
Did
do.
she sell this book to the other Michelle? Was it a
Yeah,
Michelle Nobel,
I
a
know it's
Michelle,
confusing.
Michelle Sell?
Right, right. She helped me with the end portion of that. I sent it to Michelle on my own before I was agented, and then Michelle Jackson hopped on board and negotiated the deal with Michelle McAvoy from Little Press. So, yes and no.
Does Little Press give little advances?
Um, yes, little. So yeah, yeah, it's still a small press, but like I said, they're going gangbusters. So
Okay, great. No, because sometimes agents don't really want to sell books where the advance is
yeah,
almost
yep,
zero. And I think I don't know what you think, but I think that I'm going to say something crazy. Agents take 15%. And most authors say, oh, 15%. I say, oh, they should get more.
I
They,
know
they work so hard on our behalf.
they do. They definitely do, and it's a kind of a thankless job for the most part because they get as many no's as we do, right? They get no's instead of getting them from agents and or little publishers. They get no's from the big publishers. And so, it's hard. It's also hard, I think, because it's not only they're not only getting a no for themselves, but they're getting a no for us, and they have to pass that on to us. So I think it's a tough job.
And I got to interview a lot of agents over the past 5 years, and I met quite a few in Bologna, and including mine, and they are incredibly nice people.
Yes.
When you're in the trenches and you're submitting, it's so frustrating. And but to be an agent and to get all these hundreds of thousands of submissions all the time, and always, if you it's like it could be like if you're Stephen Fraser, he gets, I don't know, 10 or 20,000 a year. And if you
Yeah.
don't answer every day, in the weekend, you have like 1,000 submissions to answer. It's crazy.
It is. It is crazy. It would be a really, really tough job, I think, to do. It would be really rewarding at times when you get to pass on that great news, but unfortunately, just like us, we get a lot more no's than we get yeses, so it's tough.
Even when you have a lovely book out like you had,
Yeah.
it's taken 3 years for your next lovely book to come out. So
Yes.
this can happen to all of us. And so I guess my next question is, for every yes, how many no's do you write? In other words, in this hiatus, how many manuscripts have you written? I can write 30 manuscripts before I'll have one book deal.
Right. I don't have that number in front of me, and I think
Well,
the only
I made mine up, so you can make
yeah,
yours up.
right. I would guess maybe 20 or so, and I have probably close to 50 finished manuscripts that could go out at this point. And the only reason that I've slowed down on that a little bit is that I'm working on a middle grade novel. And so, those take a lot longer. I'm on the fourth revision of that as far as completely
Wow.
reformatted,
How many how
one,
many words, Cindy?
about 80,000.
Only say 80,000 words.
Yeah,
You
and
know, I ah
And now
I
I'm
don't I,
starting over and turning it into a different point of view too. So it's almost like starting over. So it's that is taking, obviously a lot more time. So
so to all the middle grade authors out there listening to us, um I have utter reverence for you people. I don't know how you do it. I would rather, and I have done, uh, revise a book like Emily 100 times than work on an 80,000 word book.
Oh, me too. That's the problem, right? Is I
I
get
mean, see,
frustrated.
that's my next question,
Yeah.
Cindy. Is why the hell are you doing it?
Maybe because of all of the no's and feeling like it might help me to branch out a little bit. It's fun doing the writing itself. It's funny because when I write a picture book, I love the revision process because I feel like it's a puzzle and I can make it better. But the revision process for a middle grade novel is a totally different story because it's it's not in a picture book, I'm very word focused, right? And in a middle grade novel, it has to be more big picture. And I'm not that good at big picture. I'm more of a, you know, I love to play with words and work on puns and do rhyming. And so when I get frustrated with the middle grade novel, I go back and write another picture book and and then
But 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 don't they tell us, when you've broken in, and we had this discussion 3 years ago,
yeah.
authors who break in with the traditional publication are 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 3,000. And you've done this twice now. The conventional wisdom would say, Cindy, you've done it. Why change? You're
I'm a
winning
glutton for punishment.
you're winning the quarter mile. Why do the marathon now?
That's a really good question. It is. I think part of it for me too is the challenge of it and thinking that, I'm gonna prove to myself that I can do this. But um I it's funny because until the last few years, I was not a person who stuck with things very well. I didn't really have that growth mindset. If something didn't work or I didn't do well at it, I was done. And so somehow this writing thing has gotten inside me and changed things. And I've decided that I want to see how far I can take it. And I think it's, yes, I want to get my more picture books out there, but because I have so many that I feel like are already ready to go, I felt like I was spinning my wheels kind of, right? Because your agent can only send out one at a time, and that might take 6 months to a year before they can move on to another story. And I've got 50 of them sitting there waiting. So I felt like I needed something a little
I, you know,
different.
I want to leave my agents, 30 or 40 manuscripts to sell after I'm gone so that they won't forget me.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
It's funny, why do we do this? It's a kind of a crazy thing.
It is.
And we teach our friends, keep doing it, persevere and this and that. And Stephen Fraser, who I mentioned, who's one of the nicest agents in the business, he gave a talk called "The Passion of Writing Picture Books."
Mhm.
And I interviewed him and I said, Stephen, you call it a passion because you don't do it, right? Um, but the word passion, I'm Jewish, so I don't know, but in a Christian sense, in the passion on the cross and everything, it's all about the joy that derives from the opposite of joy, which is pain. So
Oh,
you need pain to have the joy,
yeah.
but there's so much pain.
There is so much pain. You're right. You're right. There is. But I feel like for me, passion is a good word, but obsession might even be a better word for me.
Not only for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, so our friend Vivian Kirkfield, she has the 5 Ps, perseverance.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they are. Perseverance, perspiration,
Yeah.
uh, perspication, preponderance. I don't remember what they are.
I don't
But,
remember them
you,
all either, but yes.
but Cindy, now you're going to have to invent the 5 O's.
Okay. All right. I'll work on that. That's
So I'm
fun.
I'm
See
I-
that?
I'm gonna help you.
Okay.
Obsession,
Yes.
obstinance,
Oh, for sure you have to be obstinate.
and you're gonna have to figure out the others.
Okay. I'll get back with you on that. I love, see, that's the silly stuff I love to do is to play with words. That's one of my,
So if you ever interview me, I also have like my motto, which is the wedge, the ledge, and the edge.
remember, well, when you come talk with me on my channel, we're going to talk about that. Don't forget. Don't let me
And
forget.
I'm gonna have to remember what they mean.
Yeah. All right. Work on that.
And what haven't I asked you?
Oh gosh, we talked about my YouTube channel. We talked about working with the kids. Um, what's next? I think we've pretty much covered it.
Okay, so let's sum up because this is our second interview, and so much fun to see that you've published another gorgeous book. And like you say, it's all about heart. It's a book that's all about heart, and so are you. So I'm Mel Rosenberg, and I am the I keep forgetting what I am. I'm the host. I should have this written down somewhere, like or maybe I should have a song. I'm Mel Rosenberg. I'm the host of the Children's Literature Channel
I
on the
thought
New
you
Books
did.
Network. No,
There you go.
no, in the previous, before it was NBN, it was what was it called? It was called You've Got Mel.
You've got Mel. Right, right, right,
Yes,
right, right.
and You've
Yes,
Got Mel had a song.
I thought
So
so.
yeah, so we need a song. Okay, I'll work on a song. But in the meantime, I am the host of the Children's Literature Channel, the New Books Network, and I have been here with the wonderful, wonderful Cindy Williams Schrauben, and celebrating her new book, Hank has what was the name of the book? I have it here
Hank's
on my paper.
Change of Heart.
Hank's Change of Heart.
Yes.
You see, I have it here, but I took off my glasses so I could see you better. That's
Thank you.
another, it's another age thing. Um, it's been wonderful seeing you again. And if you have me on your channel, I will have to prepare the edge, the ledge, and the wedge.
It's a date. All right.
Take care, Cindy. Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
You too.